Early access can be a blessing or a curse. Some games need a little time to marinate and allow the flavors to really sink in, clarify any imperfections, and add additional ingredients to make the final result as flavorful as possible, while others remain in a half-baked state, stowed away in the darkest corners of your Steam library, gathering dust as they never see the light of day. Good news for fans of Frontier Hunter, Erza's Wheel of Fortune, as the title is now releasing out of early access with tons of content. But does this RPG-infused Metroidvania need more time in the oven, or is it the perfect entree for gamers seeking some anime-style fare? I must be hungry with these metaphors, so let's dig in.
さっきの声、お姉様がこの子ったら結構面白い反応するじゃない。思ったよりいい子なの。
Before we get started, please take a moment to like and subscribe. Check us out at patreon.com/idreamofindiegames for additional content and awesome perks. And don't forget to tune in on Twitch Tuesdays and Thursdays to hang out with Gamer Ghoulfriend live. Frontier Hunter Erza's Wheel of Fortune is a sequel to 2019's Tower Hunter Erza's Trial. While I never played this title from Ice Citruna, both games center around Erza and have combat as a central focal point. From what I understand, the primary thing you need to know about the first title is that Erza obtained a hunter license by proving herself in countless battles and is now aboard an airship. Also, she has a hair clip that was once a demon that communicates with her telepathically. It's complicated, but it's not that deep, which pretty much sums up the plot as a whole, to be honest. Frontier Hunter opens up on Erza aboard her ship conducting a live stream of sorts. Once interrupted, you are guided to a brief tutorial that gives you the rundown of combat and platforming mechanics. Pretty straightforward and certainly nothing earth-shattering. What is earth-shattering, however, is an unexpected attack against Erza's ship, ultimately stranding her and the crew on a mysterious new world. Now it's up to Erza and her comrades to explore these uncharted lands, slay beasts, and gather crystals and resources. One of the first choices you'll make in Frontier Hunter is your difficulty option. Simple, allowing for a few moments of immunity after taking a hit, or normal, which does not. I am by no means an exceptional gamer, and I found the normal difficulty rather easy in the early stages of the game. You can change your difficulty at any time during gameplay, so if you do find yourself overwhelmed by the normal difficulty, you can always hop into the options menu to toggle your challenge level down a notch. I won't judge. If you're anything like me though, I don't foresee you having a tremendous amount of trouble with the difficulty. Most enemies are pesky at best. Bosses can be cheesed pretty easily. Again with the food, I knew I should have eaten dinner before recording. And most of your challenge will come from navigating around the expansive Metroidvania style map. There's a few different elements that help to set Frontier Hunter apart from a lot of other Metroidvanias I've played. First, there are the shooting segments. At times, you will take control of the ship or a turret, mowing down waves of enemies, or taking out space junk in your path. While these elements wouldn't make a thrilling game on their own, it's certainly a fun break from beating down baddies the standard way. Then there is the fairly deep weapon crafting and customization system, character leveling, and lots of bits that give Frontier Hunter a hefty helping of RPG, which I personally appreciated. Weapons can be crafted after the required materials and blueprints are collected. These weapons can then be upgraded, unlocking additional slots where cores can be installed. These cores are collected by slaying monsters and provide additional stat boosts and enhancements. The same structure applies to armor and accessories as well, providing a ton of customization options. Speaking of customization, you can also collect outfits for your different characters and swap out their hair color. But back to the combat, there are artifacts that serve as magic skills, which can be equipped to each character, and even team-up moves when you have more than one member in your party. Honestly, going into Frontier Hunter with very little expectations, I was impressed with the depth and quality of the systems and mechanics. It was fun to experiment with and find the right loadout for me, even if at times I felt like I grossly overpowered a boss or two.
上にあるのは塔ですの？誰かいるかもしれない。 行ってみましょう。
There's certainly more to discuss, like the cooking, combos, and hidden skills to discover in treasure chests, but it feels sufficient to say that RPG fans will enjoy these elements of the game at the very least. As for the more genre-standard Metroidvania elements, they're alright. The map isn't bad, though the game could benefit from a more concise way of keeping track of your ongoing quests and goals, as there were some moments I found myself backtracking aimlessly in search of a sign. Honestly, a staple of the Metroidvania genre for me at this point. There are plenty of checkpoints, as well as a fast travel system that's quite effective as well. The quests themselves are pretty dull. Collecting eggs for a bird human, weird. Accruing a certain number of monster cores for study, collecting crystals to open new doorways. It's all fine, except the bird human thing. Just not that interesting. How the hell does a human lay an egg anyway? Never mind, I do not want to know. The real thing I wasn't keen on overall was the writing. I don't require anything highbrow or totally mind-blowing to catch my attention, but the humor just wasn't quite jiving with me on this one. The plot did not hold my interest, and half the time I couldn't even read what was going on as the text scrolled by while I was mid-combat. Less than ideal, to say the least. That didn't stop me from catching plenty of typos and grammatical errors, though, putting this stupid English degree to use, damn it. Anyway, I'll get off my high horse and admit I did enjoy the overall anime theming and aesthetic. The art, while not necessarily my cup of tea, was highly effective in bringing an interactive anime to life. The colors are vibrant, the various locations on the map are easy to distinguish by the varied backgrounds and local wildlife, and the cutscenes are pretty damn impressive looking. Similarly impressive is the soundtrack with new songs for each locale, each sounding straight out of an anime and matching the intensity of the environment. Then there is voice acting here, which I didn't mind, as the Japanese voice actors pretty much nailed the vibe. Whether you like that vibe or not is a different matter entirely. Honestly, I found it challenging to come to a conclusion about how I would score Frontier Hunter. On one hand, I genuinely enjoyed the combat, the gameplay variety, customizable weaponry and skills, core collecting, and overall presentation. On the other hand, the story is a snooze. There is a distinct lack of guidance at times, the humor is not my style, and I'm just kind of over a lot of the tropes present here. Then again, this is a pretty large game. Even if you explore the map entirely, there are reasons to go back in and play some more, including tons of secrets, different types of equipment to try, and more. With all of that in mind, for value, for combat, and for making it out of early access, I'm going to award Frontier Hunter Erza's Wheel of Fortune a silver genie lamp of approval, with a warning not to expect too much out of the story. It's not going to be everyone's cup of tea, but it certainly gets a lot of things right.